Now, we meet a woman whose life as a TV producer and events manager in the film world was just a doorway. One which opened her mind to the idea that maybe she was a work of art herself.
My name is Vuyo, that's what I'm known for, but it's Nomvuyo Oya, and it's a Xhosa name, and when you translate it as the one with the happiness within, so that has been my calling in life. So when I met Khulu, aka Dirk Durnez, we started talking about, because I had this duke on, and then he just asked like why I wear it. And the story behind it was that I wear the duke to balance my emotions, to balance my intentions, and also it has become this morning meditation in motion and setting intention for my day.
Art without story is not art. It's decoration or it's interior design. As she was telling her story, I told her, you are art. You're actually walking art. And that narrative needs to be told to a lot of people. So you can do that with audiovisual, filming the artist, but you can also multiply that in making sculptures. So that's what we do. We create fine art. So the artist is at the center. The artist creates the narrative, and then it's my task in the Kunye Collab to put different players together to actually make all this happening.
For me, it's always hard to use myself as an example for other people's lives, but it's always an honor when people come and say I inspire them, because it's just that I hope that the inspiration they get is more about this art of kindness and the spirit of Ubuntu that I try to carry with me everywhere. And I always pray that whatever inspires that they find inspiring to me, it's more about it will have a ripple effect, that I was kind and then they just like pay that kindness forward.
So it started with Vuyo telling me the narrative, and then she creates these dukes that she is wearing herself. From there, we have to come to a sculpture, which is painted. So obviously, you need a sculptor creator. I met Olivia Dunkley. She's an amazing three-dimensional artist. So she sculpts three-dimensionally on computer.
I come in with quite a bit of the pipeline. So I do the scanning. So if we have physical objects that need to become digital, then I'll scan those in. But if we want to start absolutely from the ground zero, then I'll sort of go in with actually creating the models. So starting from a base shape and sculpting and transforming that, almost like working with digital clay, into a whole new model.
So then what we do from the sculpture that Olivia created, we then make a mold. And then in that mold, we make replicas. One of the replicas is used as a base for Vuyo to make her duke. So she actually makes the real duke, and that we transform into a sculpture. So we basically take the duke, then we basically make it a heart. And that is done by David.
So the first thing that I do in the studio, I put the duke, I position the duke, then I make sure everything is tight. I mix my mixing, the epoxy, then I take my tissue. So I'm gonna put one layer to all details and fill it up. So first layer, then I'll leave it, then it cures. So once it cures, all the details can move, then I'll remove it from this origin, then I take it to the bigger one. Once I position it, then I start applying more tissue, then it's become rock hard. So once it's rock hard, then I said, like, okay, so I need to put the pigment. Then I leave it for 4 to 5 days. Then we prime it, then we leave it like that.
When Dirk presented me with the opportunity to be one of the painters to do the Crown Chakra project, I obviously looked at Vuyo's initial concept and idea and what it is she wanted to translate into physical form. So my first instinctive thought that came up is I want to do a jungle, because I was thinking jungle women, like powerful. And I also love the idea of layering. So in a jungle, you have the shorter plants, the medium plants, the really tall trees, and it's the terrain where these powerful animals are at play. So it was specifically important for me to have some big cat represented, because I love how they express feminine power, because they can be extremely vicious and powerful, but they can also be soft and playful. And then I translate that onto the actual duke.
I don't go out in public without my duke. You have to leave things to mystery, you know, as a woman. And also, I love how it breaks the ice. I love how I've forged a relationship with strangers, because they are amazed and they'll come to you and say, what's underneath the scarf? And then you're like, it's a mystery. And then they will come up with this crazy ideas. The craziest one was, do you put paper underneath it? And then I was like, no, I'm not that extreme. So it is a mystery. this queen. We call it the crown chakra universe. The inspiration behind it is that as women, we embody this creation of life. So the universe, as boundless as it is, so is the core essence of being a woman. And then what I love about this is that they say that once you've got the world on your lap, it's like the world is your oyster, but imagine having the entire universe, which is the whole thing I believe about us as women, that we can cure ourselves, we can heal ourselves, we can heal others. And then I call it like an untapped reservoir of healing. I feel like if women are united, we can heal the world and we'll live in a better place.
Vuyo Oyiya's headwear is spectacular, but it's what's inside her heart and mind that most impresses.